Everybody says video is powerful, it builds your brand, helps you sell. But what exactly does it sell? And what about all those expectations, hesitation, eats you up? Will this investment ever pay off? Hi, I'm Natalia Guerra. I'm one of the Vogue Design co-founder. We are a design agency focused for audio industry. So I'll show you what it really takes to produce a YouTube video when you're building a niche brand just like I do. Real numbers based on my real experience. Why is it so hard to calculate the cost? See, video prices vary. Okay, we all get it. And in my case, video isn't just a YouTube project. It's part of marketing, part of my desire to build a legacy. I explore the visual design for audio software, and every video contributes to that legacy. Still, I'm the most interested person in this breakdown, and I've created it for you. The only thing that I'm not including is my own price time. But if you're a business owner, you should, because then later when you have a budget, you would replace yourself as a host or as a producer if needed. Speaking of what to calculate, what kind of videos do audio companies make, for example? Since my videos are too unique, I can give you a comparison to real cases out there. Let's take a look at this table. I've included both small and big audio companies and the type of videos they publish. Demos, tutorials, product walkthroughs, branding videos, their timing, their framing. Well, that's all. Gives you a good idea where to start and what sells. Do it yourself. I've been there. And as you can see, rope paping is also pretty similar to that approach. Shot with a basic camera, no pro light, basic editing. Not great, but it works for getting started. And I'd argue with that tactic if you're just starting out and you want to have this long-lasting great impression. Unless you're rope paping that have a name already. So my budget for that is this number, right? And if you are just thinking of launching your content or already working on that, tell me what's holding you back or what's pisses you off the most. Let's compare those stories in the comment section. And obviously, as an agency myself, I try to work with an agency. Hiring an agency cost me $1,500 for half of a shooting day. Sorry, I couldn't be there for the whole day, which is why, they still billed me for the whole business shooting day. Your local prices, guys, would definitely vary and probably to a higher rate because there are different, more professional or less professional agencies out there. I wrote the script, directed it, they took the rest. And I still cannot beat that quality picture they created. We were filming for 2 days, recorded 3 videos, 3 reels. When you're just starting, consider this. You and your anxiety would probably make you reshoot everything on the second day. Another pro tip. If you are starting just like me back then, make sure you have raw files and editing source files, because you might struggle just like me with glitches. And in-house production. I'm sure that companies like Baby Audio and Native Instruments definitely have their in-house production. And this is where things are getting interesting, because if you are directing kind of thing like YouTube project, you would require a brand guideline, a style to move with it, because you would want to have an adequate picture, an adequate image, beautiful image that is more just all those lights, flickers, and unnecessary decorations on the background on your location. And you can clearly see how I evolved my shots from my processes. And I can pretty much relate to this baby audio and native instruments in between, because I've started just like the rock paper and then moving to somewhat like native instruments or Arturia are doing. Yes, that's my way. And I hope that your way would be even more interesting. So this is the scenario when I am the face, the host, the writer, the producer, the art director. Basically, I have to hire all contractors, set all the processes from scratch, and that means that I'm juggling time between shots, videos, main business that actually funds this, my family, and my anxiety. So, finally, let me walk you through the actual numbers. And for this table, for this pilot video table, you're gonna need my comments for each section, because you are going to purchase all the equipment, hire all the stuff, and make all first mistakes. Branding. That's quite an interesting part. Many companies are starting without it. And well, I've shared some insights on how to do it properly in another video on my channel. And you can notice that most of audio companies have this branding to some extent. Right now, I'd already redo my own intro animation because it's more like a storytelling tool than a runner. I'd recommend myself doing it shorter than 2 seconds. And it was also hard for me to really calculate the audio team, the special team that you can hear somewhere with this animation. Why? Because it was made by my husband and my co-founder, and that is why it's hard to really calculate that cost. So probably you would be better at this than me. So as you can see the number in this table, probably you can find something less expensive, and as you can see, many companies are starting with less expensive animation. Right now, AI tools are helping to do some sort of animation for you. Yet, in a long run, a proper branding is crucial that would differentiate you. And differentiation is a key to memorability. So it's a key to stick in someone's mind with a particular visuals or sound. So it's important. Pre-production prices here really depend on the country you are in, because hiring a full-time specialist for video is a whole different game. So we work with freelancers, and that's what most of you will end up doing too. In my case, I outsource a lot of research or some boring stuff, retrieving data from our internal calls and ideation that I record on video, because I prefer to spend my time on bigger picture. So, I cannot outsource script writing based on the research. I outsource proofreading after ChatGPT, and I cannot outsource the global vision, but I can outsource director of photography and location, and building the location and setup gear. The more gear you own, the less you'll spend on rentals and crew, but only to the point. Your editor, cameraman will definitely tell you when you've hit that point. I've had mine, so yeah, thanks. In my case, I'm slowly building a serious collection of video equipment because I see myself not just as a host, but also the producer and director for future in-house YouTube projects. And looking at my list of geo right now, it's quite impressive. Probably it's pretty similar to what Natives or Arturia team has. Watching at this setup, you might notice the microphone and preamp. And well, we all know sound is important, right? And I've got my problems with that. I've had a lot of problems with sound. I've got retainer that make my S sound sharp and hissy. I've got a tiny room with glass, basically a plate reverb. I've got those unnecessary fancy foam panels. They mostly do nothing. And behind the glass, the never-ending story with this ventilation system that never stops, actually. And I cannot turn it off. So that led me to this solution, this microphone and this preamp. And I'm sure that you would have your own struggles, or you would definitely have your own struggles with the sound, with the room. But I'm hoping that you would solve them more heroically than I did. So, basically, as you can see, the production is the least expensive item in this list. Because I worked on it, yet it's a work. Working in front of camera is also work. It's a different story, guys, than working at home quietly designing or developing all those plugins and interfaces. It's intense. And if you enjoy working and being a squeezed lemon after workday, be my guest. And probably for those who have done real voice training, the voiceover would be more pleasant, would be a way easier. Still, it's work, and it has to be paid, and it has to be aligned with a number in this list. And honestly, looking at this production line here, I think that when you are starting a YouTube channel, it makes sense only in two cases. If you have a clear, unfair advantage that you can rely on, or a very strong reason to keep going even when things get hard. And they will do, trust me. Post-production. As they say in Hollywood, a film is born 3 times, and the last time it's in the edit stage. And I hate spending time on revisions. That's why I created the checklist so my assistant can run the high quality check before I have to review the video as an editor. So big respect to anyone who takes on this responsibility or handles it all solo. As you can see, I've put thumbnails in the latest stage. And despite many YouTubers recommend making thumbnails on the very beginning, I also tweak these thumbnails within my brand system, because there are 2 ways on approaching the thumbnails: making them as they say and making them as you think they should be within your brand or idea system. Sorry, not sorry, but my niche is so specific that YouTube's best practices simply don't work for me. Yeah. And about editing, let me be clear, this is not MrBeast style. If it were, it would be a way bigger number, probably multiplied 3 or 4 times. But this is the price that is good. You can find it on the market, and it might include some sound design work. In my case, sound design is my weakest point, and I'm still working on it. I'm working on my sound design system, so probably I'll add that price later to my expenses, to this line. Right now it's empty. You would feel it for yourself. Right, before we talk about return on investment and whether it's all worth it, there's one more thing that I want to show you, and it's miscellaneous extra costs. And it's easy to overlook because things like connectors, flash drives, software licenses, they seem small, but they would add up fast. And for the sake of the honest experiment, I've included them. In my case, I already had a lot of this stuff well, that's from a main line of work. So I didn't start from scratch, but you should fill that up. And also there's a particularly interesting line like promotions and paid followers and accessory. Some of you might consider like promotions, and some of you would probably go for paid followers or buy all this fancy accessory, fancy clothes to look more professional or more cool. Well, that's your path. I'm not judging. You should consider that. In my case, I've worked with a stylist and makeup artist, just some correction, consultation. So this line is for that. By the way, for example, you know why I've put typefaces and put $500? Well, I still had to include that because obviously I own a subscription for editing software and music editing software, but still purchasing a typeface license could cost as much as that, especially if it's a unique and high quality typeface and you would reuse it for your branding or for the software, especially if you're a software developer. The embedded license would definitely be that high of a price. You might think that, wait, I've had this branding stuff, etc. Yes, we've had this branding stuff, and this were just a headline, like a guideline that you probably should use this typeface. But when you purchase it, it goes in the miscellaneous into this extra cost. In a pre-AI era, we used to purchase stock graphics. And this adds up to this list as well. Nowadays, it's a way easier. Probably you would skip that, but consider that a B-roll or high-quality visuals, well, it adds extra dollars to the list. Let's sum up. Your first pilot video could realistically cost around that amount. This is a huge price tag, I admit it. And that's for a pilot video where you buy equipment, test everything, and make all rookie mistakes at once. Now let's talk about whether it's worth it. What does video actually sell? One of my videos, a UI review for the search synth, a funny UI review, got 11,000 views. A few clients reached out after seeing it, but that video wasn't the main trigger. It was just a nudge. Because for me, ROI, return on investment, doesn't come from one viral hit. It comes from showing up consistently, and not just on YouTube, but across platforms. And most importantly, inside people's minds. And in my case, one video or 10 videos don't close deals. But in case with software developer companies, probably they've got a lot of deals from those videos. Why do I think so? First off, me and audio companies operate in different kind of businesses, like software selling and service kind of selling, right? We operate in different audiences. We make our videos for different audiences. Those audiences, bigger, smaller, yet for both me and all those audio software developers, videos sell trust, presence, and the feeling that you will be there tomorrow. And that's especially important when you're like me, building something long-term, a brand, a community, and a movement around UI design in audio software. So is it worth it? Answering the question, is it worth it? Let's properly calculate the real cost, my cost. I take a look into my P&L analysis, and I can see that all those 8 videos, all those gear, equipment, motion, and all kind of expenses led me to $3,000 per video in 2024 and almost 1,000 less in 2025. And I do hope this number will be less in 2026. At first, I thought that cool visuals and storytelling would be my secret weapon, and probably I could sell more services or something like that, but I didn't expect and include anxiety, time, cost, and constant feeling that it's never enough. So despite I'm not sure is it worth really financially going on, I keep going on because I know what I'm building, and video helps me show that to the world. So until the next time.